Sandra says, I'm so glad to be able to join. She's in Australia, so the time zones don't always match up for our calls. She says, my question is this. My product is priced way higher than my competitors, $39 a month, $300 a year. But as a result, I'm not getting sales. I ran a massive discount for this week only to match my competitors' prices, which are $9 a month, $99 a year. And I'm happy I got a bit more sales, about 14 members. But going forward, to continue to sell at my high hold on. But going forward, I plan to continue selling at my high price, but with the $1 trial for 2 weeks. What can I do to convince people that my membership has value compared to my competitors? It's not terrible getting sales for weeks at a time because of the high price, and a significant number of people have dropped out after the 2 week trial because of financial reasons. And because my niche is on a volunteer basis, like playing keyboard in church, um, people do cancel their memberships for reasons like lack of time or when they stop serving in church for the season.
But all memberships do that. Every membership has ebb and flow. We have people that quit for certain reasons. We have people come back for certain reasons. So I would be, here's an interesting thing for you to do, Sandra. Are you sure that your people even know about your competitor? Like, I would survey those new members and be like, hey, could you tell me one domain of someone else who does what I do? And I'd be hard pressed to think that over half of them would even know about your competitor, you know? So I don't know if price here is the actual problem, or if it's necessarily too high. It might just be an exposure problem. Like, how many people are coming through your website? How many people are actually seeing your offer? How many people are landing on your sales page? Before we ever make decisions about stuff like that, we have to know true answers and not biased answers that we assume. If you don't have data to back up, 14 people went to my competitor and 14 people came to my site. 14 people, plus I gave them my competitor's price for my stuff. Like, if you don't know that for sure, then you are guessing. And when you guess in your business, you are going to fail very quickly. Okay. So I would be really, concerned that you are not 100% for sure here that it's even that price. Now, you did move some people. Price lowering always moves people. If you had told those same people that it was $19 instead of $39, you probably might have got the same results. We've seen that happen many times before, where we get the same results at different price points just because we lowered it. Okay. So you could just continuously play off of that. Like, every time, every holiday, every month, do a sale off of your public pricing so that you can pick up your sales each month. Okay. That's one thing you can do. You don't have to wait every quarter for a sale. There is always an excuse for a sale. It is July 4th next week. Send a picture with an American flag that says, God bless worship music, and have an American flag and church worship, and, do something patriotic next week for church. In September, there's Labor Day. In October, there's Halloween. There's got to be a reason to do Halloween stuff, right? Everybody's doing Noah's Ark parties and Halloween. Like, you've got to come up with reasons to have these sales that cause more things and be creative, because if you're just waiting around to have a sale every 3 months, you're going to get frustrated. Okay. So I'm not exactly guaranteed and sure that for sure that it's your competitor is the problem. That's in your mind because you know about your competitor.
I think, Sandra, to me, it sounds more like you have a marketing problem, because if like hundreds of people jumped on board when you lowered your price to your competitor's price, I might say, well, maybe there's something to that.
And if they said, finally, Sandra lowered her price to the competitor's price, I mean, I'm glad that I can finally pick you instead of them.
And you might have had like one or two people say that, but chances are a lot of people probably don't even know about your competitors.
I'd agree with that.
Here's a little story for you. So a long time ago, a lot of people know the Smart Passive Income podcast. It's a very big podcast in this industry, with Pat Flynn, and Shane and I have been on that podcast actually twice. And one time I can remember, so it's one of the top online business podcasts.
And Pat Flynn is the only person who has ever been an actual guest in a flagship episode of the Flip Lifestyle podcast. He was on episode 100 with us. So that's how this guy, I know where you're going here.
And completely unrelated to this, we were the most downloaded podcast he's ever had.
More than Gary Vee, more than Tim Ferriss. Yeah. Just saying.
So anyway, sorry, just had to throw that in there. But one time we had somebody come to us and they were like, hey, we heard you on somebody else's podcast, not his. And we were like, and they said, I just wanted to thank you for introducing us to that Pat Flynn guy. Like, he's pretty cool. And we were like, what?
Yeah,
Like, you've never heard of Pat Flynn?
Yeah, like you would assume that everyone knew about Pat Flynn and then found us. But this person found us first and then found Pat Flynn. So these people don't know about your competitor necessarily. You might be marketing to the wrong people. Maybe you could go into some Facebook ads and instead of target a higher demographic by their income. Okay, people with a little bit more money who might be the same worship leader, the same people, but you can go in and tweak that. You can go in and take people that only make over $50,000 a year and might have some disposable income, and now you're targeting people with more money who might be less susceptible to this price problem, but we still want the same thing that you're teaching.
And here's the thing. I'll tell you a little secret, okay? At this price point, if we're talking like $50 or less, price is really not an issue.
That's not the problem.
Generally. Yeah. It's more of a mindset problem.
And it's more of a marketing thing for you. Like
you're not convincing them that you have the value there to command that price.
And it sounds like you're getting people to take trials and you're getting people to take action. But here's what most people forget. Marketing doesn't stop on the thank you page. Your sales funnel does not end after the order form. That's when it begins. That's when you start selling them. You got to sell your membership every month. Like Jocelyn and me divide and conquer on our marketing. I am responsible for marketing externally before people join, right? But we actually consider Jocelyn's retention team, they are responsible for internal marketing. They are responsible for sending video messages to people, marketing for people to show them value, sending messages to these Q&As so that we make sure people know about them so that they see the value every month. You have to have an internal marketing strategy when your business is based on a membership, because your next sale is their next renewal. And if you're not marketing that, they're not going to buy the next thing you're selling, which is that renewal. Okay. So you need an internal marketing strategy. When these people take the $1 trial, like we have it laid out for the first 30 days when people join our free trial. Like we know what they're getting the first 10 days. They're excluded from all other emails. We know what they're getting on day 27. We know what they're getting the day after they, renew. And it's because we've strategically thought about it. And the problem with most people who do memberships is they think that once the sale's over, they just pay forever. And that is not true. So you need to step back, get the whiteboard out, get a piece of paper out and say, after the thank you page, what's my marketing strategy? How am I marketing to these people over the next 30 days to get them to pay their renewal? How am I marketing to these people to buy the next product, which might be an annual plan? Okay. So you've got to have an internal marketing strategy. If you have never sat down and said, what is my internal marketing strategy? What is my marketing strategy after the thank you page? What happens next? How am I marketing for my members to pay me next month? Then you are leaving money on the table. You are not focusing on the right things. So take your membership, stop everything you're doing right now, and write down on a piece of paper, internal marketing. How am I selling my next product, which is their next month fee? That's what you have to do. This Q&A is a part of our strategy that you're on right now. Like we're serving you so that you leave this call and you say, hey, dang, that was worth it. Sandra Chen, that was worth it. And I will be here next month because I'm going to pay my membership
It's
fee.
all about reminding people about all the cool stuff in your membership too. So like back when I had Elementary Librarian, I would send them an email like every 2 weeks and say, hey, here's the lesson plan of the week. Here's the member of the week. Like you got to keep them engaged. You can't just dump them in a membership and assume that they're going to okay. But that's just something to be mindful of. If you're wondering, okay, why aren't these people sticking around? Maybe you aren't reminding them often enough of the cool things that are inside.